अद उत्पथानां महीं मुहुः चालयतां चमूभिः वधात् प्रपन्न आर्तिजिहीर्षया ईशः अपि उपैक्षत अघं भगवान् कुरूणां नूनं नृपाणां त्रिमदोत्पथानां नूनं नृपाणां त्रिमदोत्पथानां महे मुहुश्चालयतां च मूभिः महीं मुहुश्चालयतां च मूभिः वधात् प्रपन्नार्तिजिहीर्षयेषु वधात् प्रपन्नार्तिजिहीर्षयेषु अप्यु अप्युपैक्षताघं भगवान् कुरूणाम्. Actually, a continuation. It's a sandhi. These two words split into two lines. Apyupaikshatagham Bhagavan Kurunam. Apyupaikshatagham Bhagavan Kurunam. Nunam Nripanam Trimadopathanam. महीं मुहुश्चालयतां च मूभिः वधात् प्रपन्नार्तिजिहीर्षयेषः अप्युपैक्षताघं भगवान् कुरूणाम्. नूनं नृपाणां त्रिमदोत्पथानां महीं मुहुश्चालयतां च मूभिः वधात् प्रपन्नार्तिजिहीर्षयेषु अप्युपैक्षताघं भगवान् कुरूणाम्. नूनं नृपाणां त्रिमदोत्पथानां महीं मुहुश्चालयतां च मूभिः वधात् प्रपन्नार्तिजिहीर्षयेषु अप्युपैक्षताघं भगवान् कुरूणाम्. नूनं नृपाणां त्रिमदोत्पथानां महीं मुहुश्चालयतां च मूभिः वधात् प्रपन्नार्तिजिहीर्षयेषु तिजिहीर्षयेषु जिहीर्ष वधात् प्रपन्नार्तिजिहीर्षयेषु अप्युपैक्षताघं भगवान् कुरूणाम्. नूनं नृपाणां त्रिमदोत्पथानां महीं मुहुश्चालयतां च मूभिः प्रपन्नार्तिजिहीर्षयेषु Pyupaikshatagham Bhagavan Kurunam Nunam Nripanam Trimadotpathanam Mahim Muhushchalayatam Chamubhi Vadhatra Pannati Jihirshayeshu Upaikshatagham Bhagavan Kurunam. Actually, I understood. See, it's actually Vadhatra Pannati Jihirshayeshopi. It's one line. Then Upaikshatagham Bhagavan Kurunam. That makes sense. We should have put the api over here. Because traditionally in Sanskrit, it's not a 4-line verse. It's only 2 lines. This is one line, this is one line, and this is the second. So they used to do sandhi in such a way that it would be like that. That in English, they split it into 4 lines when they're writing it in English. They split it into 4 lines to make it easy to read. They remove the sandhi and make it easy to read. So in that process, it just happened like that. But if this api comes in the previous line, then it will be according to the meter properly. So it will be like this. Vadhatra Pannati Jihirshayeshopi Upaikshatagham Bhagavan Kurunam. That makes sense. Next. Mataji. Nunam Nripanam Trimadotpathanam Mahim Muhushchalayatam Chamubhi Vadhatra Pannati Jihirshayeshopi Pyupaikshatagham Bhagavan Kurunam. Nunam, of course, Nripanam, of the kings. 3. Madar Utpathanam, going astray out of false pride. Mahim, earth. Muhu, constantly. Chalayatam, agitating. Chamubhi, by movement of soldiers. Vadhat, from the act of killing. Prapanna, surrendered. Arti Jihirshaya, willing to relieve the distress of the sufferers. Ishaha, the Lord. Api, in spite of. Upaikshata, waited. Agham, offenses. Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord. Kurunam, of the Kurus. Translation purport by His Divine Grace of H. Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: despite His being the Lord and being always willing to relieve the distress of sufferers, He, Krishna, refrained from killing the Kurus, although they committed all sorts of sins, and although He saw other kings constantly agitating the earth by their strong military movements carried out under the dictation of 3 kinds of false pride. Please repeat. Despite His being the Lord and being always willing to relieve the distress of sufferers, He, Krishna, refrained from killing the Kurus, although they committed all sorts of sins, and although He saw other kings constantly agitating the earth by their strong military movements carried out under the dictation of 3 kinds of false pride. Purport. As declared in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord appears in the mortal world to execute His much needed mission of killing the miscreants and giving protection to the suffering faithful. In spite of that mission, Lord Krishna tolerated the insult to Draupadi by the Kurus and the injustices perpetrated against the Pandavas, as well as insults to himself. The questions may be raised. The question may be raised. Why did he tolerate such injustices and insults in his presence? Why did he not chastise the Kurus immediately? When Draupadi was insulted in the assembly by the Kurus by their attempt to see her naked in the presence of all, the Lord protected Draupadi by supplying an unlimited length of clothing. But he did not chastise the insulting party immediately. This silence of the Lord did not mean, however, that he excused the offenses of the Kurus. There were many other kings on earth who had become very proud of three kinds of possessions: wealth, education, and followers, and they were constantly agitating the earth by movements of military strength. The Lord was just waiting to get them together on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and kill them all at one time, just to make a shortcut in his killing mission. Godless kings or heads of state, when puffed up by advancement of material wealth, education, and increase of population, always make a show of military strength and give trouble to the innocent. When Lord Krishna was personally present, there were many such kings all over the world, and he thus arranged for the battle of Kurukshetra. In his manifestation of Vishwarupa, the Lord expressed his mission of killing as follows: quote, I have willingly descended to the earth in my capacity of inexorable time in order to decrease the unwanted population. I shall finish all those who have assembled there, except you, the Pandavas. This killing does not wait for you to take part in it. It is already arranged. All will be killed by me. If you want to become famous as the hero of the battlefield and thus enjoy the booty of war, then, O Sabyasachi, just become the immediate cause of this killing and thus take the credit. I have already killed all the great warriors, Bhishma, Drona, Jayadratha, Karna, and many other great generals. Do not worry. Fight the battle and be famous as a great hero. Bhagavad Gita chapter 11 verses 32 to 34. The Lord always wants to see his devotee as the hero of some episode which he himself performs. He wanted to see his devotee and friend Arjuna as the hero of the battle of Kurukshetra, and thus he waited for all the miscreants of the world to assemble. That and nothing else is the explanation of his waiting. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanasute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschanti Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you very much for coming for today's class on Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is a continuation of Vidura's inquiries from Uddhava. So Vidura is expressing, because he knew that Krishna did not take part in the war. Krishna did not take part in the war directly, right? So we know the episode of when Krishna was lying down in Dwaraka and when the battle of Kurukshetra was being planned for, and both Duryodhana and Arjuna had approached Krishna for his help, because what they were doing at that time, they were forming various alliances to get more and more people in each of the sides to fight the war. That's why it was a great world war. The battle of Kurukshetra was a great world war where kings from all over the world participated in this war. So each side, one of the Pandavas and that of the Kauravas, were forming alliances to ally with the kings, with like-minded kings, and then to increase the size of their army. Right? So when they approached Krishna, who was the king of Dwaraka, the king of the Yadus, so Krishna was lying down on his bedstead. And actually Duryodhana approached first, right? But Duryodhana, being the materialist that he was, he did not want to sit near the feet of, he saw that Krishna is taking rest. He said, okay, then I will sleep, I will wait by sitting near the head of Krishna. So he sat near the head of Krishna. And then after that Arjuna also came. But Arjuna, being the devotee that he was, he sat near the lotus feet of Krishna and he began to gently massage Krishna's lotus feet. And then Krishna woke up. And then he saw Arjuna first. How are you doing, Arjuna? It's been a long time having seen you. And then Duryodhana is like, what's going on here? I am also here. I came first. So then, yeah. And then each of them, then because Krishna spoke to Arjuna first. So Krishna revealed directly that on one side it is me, but I will not fight because both the sides are my relatives. Both sides are because the Kauravas also my relatives, Pandavas also my relatives. I cannot fight on either side, so I will not fight the war. So but you can have me doing something else. And on the other hand, there is my whole Narayana Sena. So many Akshohinis of Narayana Sena I have, the soldiers of Dwaraka. So there is one hand there is me who will not fight, one hand there is the huge Narayana Sena who will fight. Choose whom you want. So Arjuna was given the chance to choose actually. But Duryodhana was praying within inside. You should choose. Because what kind of a foolish, from a materialistic perspective, you see, how materialist thinks. See, a single personality who is not fighting versus a whole army of brave warriors. Who would be foolish enough to choose the one person? Right? But Arjuna knew who is that one personality. So he said, I don't want you Narayana Sena, I want you. Even if you don't fight, no problem, just be with me. Because Arjuna knows about Krishna. Because Arjuna knows wherever there is Krishna, there is victory. We know, right? Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanodharaha, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhuta. So he wanted the combination to be complete, that's it. So automatically victory is on their side. At that moment when Arjuna chose Krishna instead of Narayana Sena, automatically victory was on his side. Because the combination, the pair is done. Duryodhana was very happy, but whoa, I got the whole Narayana Sena, wow. Very nice. From a materialistic perspective, it looks very foolish to see what Arjuna did. But when you understand who is the personality whom Arjuna chose, then you understand. That is Krishna. Even though he is not fighting, he may fight or not fight, but wherever there is Krishna. Because we see on the chariot of Arjuna, right, and Arjuna was on his chariot, we see the flag. Who was on the flag? Hanuman, the great devotee. So wherever Krishna is there, Krishna or Lord Ramachandra, his devotee, Arjuna. Hanuman is there. Hanuman was the great warrior. In fact, he single-handedly defeated so many warriors in Lanka when they were fighting in Ramayana. In fact, Hanuman was so capable, he could have killed Ravana. Battery is out, I think. Hanuman is so capable, he could have just killed Ravana also. But he did not receive the order. He was told only to inspect where is Mother Sita, to see where is Mother Sita and come back, that's it. So he just obeyed that much the order. But the anger which he had against Ravana, because he was blaspheming Lord Ramachandra, he He vented that anger by burning down the entire Lanka. That is the, of course, the properly utilizing the anger in Krishna consciousness. So, that is Hanuman. And such Hanuman was present on the flag of the chariot of Arjuna. So, there could not be any further assurance of victory on the side of the Pandavas, even if Krishna did not fight. But Krishna, as he likes to reciprocate with his devotees, he became a charioteer of his friend Arjuna. Right? So, of course, he did not fight the war of Kurukshetra, neither did he chastise the offenders. Because they were offending his devotees, right? The Pandavas are his pure devotees. Hare Krishna. The Pandavas were his pure devotees, and the Kauravas were giving them so much trouble. I think it's not just one or two things. Throughout their life, it was always trouble. You know that verse, right? Vishan Mahagne Purushada Darshanat. One, 8, 24. Yes. So these are the things that happened to them. Right? So Kunti Maharani is praying to Krishna. After the war, what all happened, Krishna? So one hand, Vidura is saying that Krishna did not chastise the Kauravas. Right? On the other hand, what Krishna was doing at that time. My dear Krishna, your Lordship has protected us from a poisoned cake, from a great fire, from cannibals, from the vicious assembly, from sufferings during our exile in the forest, and from the battle where great generals fought. And now you have saved us from the weapon of Ashwatthama. Krishna was busy saving his devotees. Because although Krishna says, Paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya chadushkritam, dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So Krishna comes for these three purposes. That is, Paritranaya sadhunam, to protect the devotees, and then vinashaya chadushkritam, to kill the miscreants or the envious people, and dharma samsthapanarthaya, to establish dharma, the real religious principles according to the Vedic scriptures. But although Krishna comes for these purposes, actually, and Shakatasura, so many demons Krishna killed. But those are all to show mercy on them. But that is not his real reason of coming. He doesn't need to actually come and to kill the demons. Particularly in this case, he tolerated the offense against the Pandavas, because as Prabhupada explains in the purport, in order to assemble all the kings of the world. Because similar to the party of Duryodhana, there were a lot more kings all over the world who were under him and who were doing the same thing. Right? There's Jarasandha. Of course, Jarasandha was killed earlier, but kings like that. There's Jarasandha, and there were so many other miscreants all over the world. There was Karna, and so like that there was so many kings all over the world. So Krishna wanted to assemble all of them in one place. So he was just waiting for that time. It's not that Krishna can, because you see, Krishna doesn't tolerate any offense against his devotees. Right? That's why the greatest offense that one can commit, the first offense against the holy name, is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their life for propagating the holy name of the Lord all over the world. So any offense committed against a devotee, even if he is not a pure devotee, even if he is a beginner, even if he is a Kanishta Adhikari, nevertheless he is a Vaishnava. In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, who is a Vaishnava? He who once chants the name of Krishna from his mouth, he is a Vaishnava. That is how we should consider. We should not consider what his standing is. Whatever his spiritual standing may be, that is not our business. Even if we chant once, forget about every day chanting Hare Krishna, 16 rounds, 4 principles, forget all that. Once he chants the name of Krishna with his mouth, he is a Vaishnav. So he needs to be given respect as a Vaishnav. And at any instance, he cannot be blasphemed. That is a very grave offense. In fact, this one offense, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes, it is Hati Mata. What is the verse? 19, 1, 5, 8. I'm just sorry, before that, after that. $156, huh? Yeah. 8156. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 19, verse number 156. You see the Bengali, Jodi Vaishnav Aparad Uthe Hati Mata. Upade ba chinde tar sukhi jai pata. If the devotee commits an offense at the feet of a Vaishnava while cultivating the creeper of devotional service in the material world, this offense is compared to a mad elephant that uproots a creeper and breaks it. In this way, the leaves of the creeper are dried up. So, of course, for those who are practicing Krishna consciousness, this is the effect of committing a Vaishnava aparad. If he commits an offense at the feet of the Vaishnavas, it's like a mad elephant just comes and breaks everything on the way. So we're trying to cultivate our Bhakti Lata. And if there's a CC Madhya 19:156. So this is the effect of blaspheming a Vaishnava. It's like a mad elephant. Just like a mad elephant destroys everything that comes on its path. So this mad elephant offense of Vaishnava aparad, of offending a Vaishnava, particularly when you're practicing service, it completely uproots the Bhakti Lata, breaks it, and becomes a complete karmi. In fact, there is the example case of Ramachandra Puri. Is that verse? Yeah, this is, sorry. Yeah. So you see the effect of blaspheming a Vaishnava starting from CC Antya 8:18. Check the verse. Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela chapter 8, verse number 18 onwards, if we read, what happened to Ramachandra Puri, right? So, CC Antya 8:18. I'll just keep reading the translation. Formerly, when he was a Ramachandra Puri, he is a disciple of Srila Madhavendra Puri, right? So Madhavendra Puri was at the last stage of his life, right? Srila Ishwar Puri was serving him. That's why we specially blessed Ishwar Puri to become the spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ishwar Puri received the true mercy of Srila Madhavendra Puri. But what happened to Ramachandra Puri? He blasphemed a Vaishnava. What happened to him? Let us see. Formerly, when Madhavendra Puri was at the last stage of his life, Ramachandra Puri came to where he was staying. Madhavendra Puri was chanting the holy name of Krishna, and sometimes he would cry, "Oh my Lord, I did not get shelter at Mathura." He's crying in separation from the Lord. "Our Lord, I'm not in Mathura." So he was in this place, Remuna, right? Near Khirchor Gopinath. There is a place, his Samadhi is there. Srila Madhavendra Puri Samadhi. Then Ramachandra Puri was so foolish that he fearlessly dared to instruct his spiritual master. He dared to instruct his spiritual master, his guru. He dared to instruct him, which is an aparadh. To criticize his guru. He has the audacity to criticize his guru. This is Ramachandra Puri. He has the audacity to criticize his own guru. See what happened. He's saying, I think just turn this thing on. Yeah. So he criticized his guru, saying, "If you are in full transcendental bliss," he said, "you should not remember only Brahman. Why are you crying?" See, Madhavendra Puri is a pure devotee, pure Vaishnava. He is remembering, he is in separation, he is crying in separation from the Lord. "Oh Lord, I am not in Mathura." That kind of separation, he is crying. And you see the audacity of Ramachandra Puri. He is criticizing his own guru, saying that if you are in transcendental bliss, you should now remember only Brahman. Why are you crying? Right? And hearing this instruction, Madhavendra Puri, greatly angry, rebuked him by saying, "Get out, you sinful rascal." His guru kicked him out. So he said, "Get out, you sinful rascal." "Oh my Lord Krishna, I could not reach you, nor could I reach your abode, Mathura. I am dying in my unhappiness, and now this rascal has come to give me more pain." "Don't show your face to me. Go anywhere else you like. If I die seeing your face, I shall not achieve the destination of my life." It's because Ramachandra Puri committed so many offenses. In fact, Ramachandra Puri also committed an offense, because what he would do is, he would invite a guest, feed them so much, and criticize them after that also. See, he is eating so much. In fact, he dared to criticize even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This Ramachandra Puri dared to criticize Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he would invite Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to take prasadam, and when he would feed him so much prasadam, and after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would keep taking prasadam, and after that he will criticize. See how much he is taking. Sannyasi is eating so much. But after that also he was there, no, Ramachandra Puri. His disciple, no, he's just like Ishwar Puri, he was there after Madhavendra Puri also, no? Just like that. Ramachandra Puri disciple, no? Not so much of a age gap, time gap. So he's an offender against Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, now offender against Madhavendra Puri also. But you see what happened to him later. "Don't show your face to me, go anywhere else you like. If I die seeing your face, I shall not achieve the destination of my life." I am dying without achieving the shelter of Krishna, and therefore I am greatly unhappy. Now this condemned foolish rascal has come to instruct me about Brahman. He is talking on the platform of Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is in separation from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is on the platform of Bhagavan, and he is talking about Brahman. You see, Ramchandra Puri was just denounced by Madhavendra Puri. Due to his offense, what happened? Because he offended the Vaishnava, particularly his spiritual master. Guru Avagya, right? The third offense. So actually the first offense and third offense are linked. Right? So Ramchandra Puri was just denounced, Madhavendra Puri renounced, completely gave him up, saying, "You rascal, get out of here." Then what happened? Due to his offense, gradually material desire appeared within him. Because Bhakti Lata has gone to pieces. What happened? Instead of that, some other material desire Lata started growing. He simply kept criticizing Vaishnavas, right? So, completely dried up. But this is a case of offense committed at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava while being a devotee himself, right? So, Ramchandra Puri is a devotee, and he criticized his spiritual master Madhavendra Puri by committing an offense. But you see, the case of Duryodhana and Dushasana and all of the Kauravas, they were not devotees at all. They were not devotees at all. But nevertheless, they became so sinful, they began to criticize, they began to blaspheme the Vaishnava, the Pandavas. That's why among the Karmis also, there are two kinds of people. Right? You see, the Madhyama Adhikari, he distinguishes between four kinds of people. He distinguishes between four kinds of people. He worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead with utmost respect and benevolence. Right? Krishna. He worships him and considers him as his worshipable Lord. Number two, he makes very close friendship with the Vaishnavas. So that is Krishna devotees. So the other two kind of people. Then there is innocent, there is envious. So among the Karmis, there are the innocent kind and there are the envious kind. So innocent are those who just don't know, who are in ignorance. But if they are given this Krishna consciousness, if they are given this chance to come to Krishna consciousness, they will take it readily. So that is the first kind, they are the innocent. They do not know about this process. But when a pure devotee, like Srila Prabhupada, the spiritual master comes, appears on this earth and gives this nectar of Krishna consciousness to them, then they take it up without being envious. But the other kind is the envious materialistic people, envious of the Vaishnavas. When they see Vaishnavas, they curl their lips in distaste. They don't even like to see the tilak. They don't like to see the appearance of a Vaishnava. They don't like to see God. They are the atheistic, foolish class of men. So, right? They are split into four kinds. The one that Krishna is explaining. Of course, there are four kinds of people who go to Krishna and four kinds of people who don't go to Krishna. So those who don't go to Krishna are of course envious. Right? So what is the verse? Namam dushkritino mudha prapadyante naradhama. Yes, it is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 15.